Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Blue Thunder Pod AEW Edition. I'm your host, Billy Sullivan. With me, as always, my mom's favorite podcast host. He just got his pre-order in for the brand new Young Bucks edition Reebok pumps, Dave Alinovich.
Kind of want them.
Oh, I'm getting them. I'm getting them. It's going to be my second ever owned pair of Reebok pumps.
I kind of want
First ones were like in 1990.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get them.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that they're gonna have sneakers on all the time again now because I don't like them wrestling in not sneakers. They seem less comfortable in the ring.
I feel like they're responsible for Jordan 1s becoming a thing again. Like, I never saw anyone do it, and then they did it, and I'm like, oh, all of a sudden, everyone's wearing Jordan 1s.
It did coincide. I don't know it definitely, with me, it was because of them.
We'll give the credit.
I don't know about you, Dave, but this week, the new Elite were hitting on all cylinders for my tastes.
Fuck yes. As I mentioned to you before we recorded, due to time crunch purposes, I was not able to see the main event.
Yeah.
But everything up until that point that they did, holy shit.
Yeah. And that's what I was talking about, really. Yeah. The stuff that happened that you missed, we'll talk about, but like you'd mentioned that you heard what happened.
Yeah.
So like you didn't really miss much story wise as long as you know what happened. That's it. The stuff that I'm talking about, them hitting on all cylinders, was like throughout the show stuff. Yeah. The character stuff. It was just it was all there.
This show just became promo town. Like within the last couple months or so. That's why I didn't get to the main event, because I literally have to pause, jump back 10 seconds, and write down what everybody's saying. And I'm just like, my stomach drops when I see Renee Paquette now, because like, motherfucker, can I just watch some wrestling?
Well, Dave, if you listen to the Blue Thunder Pod, you may have heard one of the hosts, Billy Sullivan, mention a few weeks ago that AEW's lead-in to pay-per-views always go the same way. And the second to last Dynamite prior to a pay-per-view is always the promo heaviest.
I do listen to it. The other guy sounds hot, but that's
he
all,
is.
Yeah,
he is.
That's all I'm listening for. I hear your mom really likes it. But no, this show was fucking great.
Yeah, it was.
It was a fucking great show.
It was. I mentioned this on, if you haven't listened, the WWE edition of Blue Thunder Pod drops same time. As always, go check that out. But as I mentioned on that program, wrestling across the board I thought was very, very entertaining this week. Yeah. This was like a promo heavier show, which is kind of a fun thing too, because WWE did a much match heavier programming this week. So I like when it coincides, when we did do a little switcheroo and we get to have like a different kind of flavor from both. Yeah. But pretty much everything worked for me on this show. Like my biggest gripe, and I can knock it off or knock it out right on the top here, because it's not really a gripe specifically about the thing that happened. It's just the placement of it. The Will Ospreay promo segment should absolutely have been in the ring, not as a backstage segment. It was ridiculous that was a backstage segment. That's really my only complaint about the entire show.
Pre-tape? It had to be, right? Like maybe he wasn't there.
Probably. Maybe. I don't know.
Also,
but his promo fucking ruled. Like,
he was good,
and he's like your most over guy. So do it in the ring.
His economy of words is stellar.
The shit he had to get across in that promo was insane.
There's no likes,
insane
pauses,
nothing.
He
could teach a class.
Yeah, it was really. Holy shit, his brevity was like insanely good for as long as it was.
It's one of those situations where I do wonder, and I only mention this because he talks about it openly quite a bit. I wonder if his like autism helps him
autistic?
in this, in this area, because he's talked about sometimes like he can focus individually on things that other people would struggle to, and it's so good. It's so flawless when he does this like soliloquy, like this Shakespearean 2-minute long thing where he has to get across so much information without a single, like you said, or
Yeah.
It makes me think he must have some kind of an advantage, because it's
a legit superpower. It really is.
It's crazy. Yeah.
They don't have that guy in the X-Men. They should have him. The public relations X-Men.
He'd be overpowered.
Yeah.
He beat Magneto in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's Will Ospreay. Come on. Wolverine's a fucking pussy compared to Will Ospreay.
Both of them do have hidden blades.
Nice. don't see you killed that. You're knocking yourself with a mirror there. That was a great line. Just hit the line and then let it go. I fucking it's fantastic.
Oh, I blew it.
You blew it.
What's that from?
I love
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore. Yeah.
Add to the list.
I love when Dynamite starts with Wild Thing. I just do.
And it started this week. It was in Everett, Washington, in Angel of the Winds Arena.
Nice crowd.
Nice. Well, yeah, their boy was on the show. This is State of Washington.
Boys.
We
got
the
Swerve
and
the American Dragon.
Yeah, as you mentioned, cold open with Wild Thing. Moxley's coming out, and I wrote crowd. I watched this after I watched all the WWE programming, and I just wrote crowd is really good, really good.
It was a specifically bad week for WWE.
Do you know what the house was off the top of your head?
No.
Like it was packed though.
Yeah,
and like loud
They're
and
loud.
into it.
Yeah.
And god damn it,
it's a great. I need to go see what's the promotion that's up there that Swerve came out of. What's it called? Progress? It's not Progress.
Progress?
Progress? It might be Progress.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be awesome.
Yeah.
That's Washington State area. Indie promotion is supposed to be like one of the most fun ones to go.
Yeah.
And I understand why. Like when you see crowds like this, because it's all the same people.
Yeah. Didn't love the opening match.
It was fine. I'm a big Jeff Cobb guy, and it sounds like he might actually be signing with them finally after 5 years of cock
They
teasing.
gave us way too much detail on his affiliation status.
It made me think that he actually
in.
said might be signing. So they made reference to that in the match. So I'm like, oh, like it's. I mean, it kind of feels bad that there's another guy that'd be stealing from New Japan, like bleeding them dry.
Sorry,
but I'm a big Jeff Cobb guy.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the match.
When I say I didn't enjoy the match, I mean like booking wise, it didn't make any fucking sense because you just announced Daniel Bryan as like the big get for Team AEW, and
I don't know who that is, Dave. Brian Danielson.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even do that ironically.
No, I know.
Brian Danielson is the big get for Team AEW at Double or Nothing in Anarchy in the Arena. And then you have him back the next week in a storyline that is totally unrelated to what he's doing at their big-ass pay-per-view in 2 weeks. And I guess they're just trying to pay off a thing they've been doing for a while with the Don Callis family.
What they're doing is
focus.
It's simpler than that. It's an AEW like standard, and I think they should almost always do this because it's something that they like established as a thing that they do, and then when they get away from it, usually things go sour. You want to start the show with a hot match, and they're in Washington. And that's all. That's the only reason that this exists. Put Danielson out there.
Start the show with Swerve because he wrestled too.
He did. Oh, he did. His was like more story, and it ended on a downer.
Fine.
This is a AEW opener match.
No,
it's a quick.
I'm not going to.
Crowds into it. People fired up. Put you good vibes for the rest of the show. That's what they're doing. And it's like
so they burned the dovetailing of their last show on a good opening tag match.
This didn't feel like anything burned.
Burned a shit out of me. Like I noticed it right away. I'm like, why is this guy on the show right now?
I know you hate Danielson wrestling on anything.
I hate Danielson wrestling, and I hate.
But it's his hometown, so like they were going to put him out there. May as well do it with a tag, and you get to do your Mox opener. And Mox, by the way, looks great.
He looks healthy and happy.
He looks like he's like very happy to be doing what he's doing.
Oh boy, did he get pissed in this match and almost murder some young talent. Oh my god, you saw like his brain working. We're like, I'm going to kill this guy now. We'll get into the match. Like this is a typical argument we have, but just didn't love the participants.
It's just a philosophical difference.
Yeah, didn't love the participants, but like the action in the ring is fucking undeniably fun. This went 12 minutes and 57 seconds. So it starts with Kyle Fletcher and Jeff Cobb already in the ring when Wild Thing hits, right? So and they mentioned, as you had alluded to quite a bit, Jeff Cobb hired muscle for tonight. We don't know what his contract status is. They're talking about him way too much. He's probably going to come in.
Like he's been here before, but they've never talked about him quite to this.
No,
and
that's what they did with Ospreay. They did it with like Shibata and like Ishii and stuff. Like they talk about him to a degree where like I'm going to get used to seeing these guys on AEW.
I'm a big Cobb guy too, so it's a happy addition for me.
I would have loved him to be not Otis instead of not Otis.
Same thought. I'm like, hey, he's the good version.
He's like the that's a true multiverse.
Yeah.
So we have 2 versions of Otis, plus we have a good version of Bad Otis.
Bad Otis.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Kyle Fletcher and Jeff Cobb jump Mox before he gets to the ring and before Danielson comes out. But once Danielson music hits and he's wearing his Seattle Seahawks gear, love the detail. He lights up Kyle Fletcher in the ring, and then Mox is lighting up Kyle Fletcher. Daniel Bryan's music plays until the bell rings.
Yeah,
and it doesn't ring for a while because they're all brawling outside.
Fan of that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like you're in the Seattle area. You want the hot start. Get that kind of like... also, harkening back to the Anarchy in the Arena thing that they did, because they got that coming up in a week and a half. Remind people of that. So that's a good thing, too.
Yeah.
I liked all of it. I think kinesio tape was invented for professional wrestling. I think that only exists as a thing because it's so perfect for pro wrestlers to show off. Here's where my injury is. Here's where my kayfabe injury is. Like, this is where Will Ospreay fucked me up. Yeah. Like, here's all the kinesio tape in whatever color you want. Because I don't think it really does anything for anybody, like, actually.
I hear good things.
I
never
do too,
tried it.
But my brain tells me that if you put something on your skin, it's doing nothing to the thing under your skin.
Yeah. Well, it pulls the muscle underneath. That's what it's for.
It says it's for.
Yeah.
I've tried it, like, because I do distance running and stuff with my wife, and
my wife.
They said they're always hawking the kinesio tape at every one of the things that you go to. So I've tried it for a knee and stuff, and it just. To me, it's like it's sticking to your skin.
Yeah.
It doesn't wrap all the way around like a knee wrap or something.
No,
so it's not stabilizing
it's
anything.
It's to pull the muscle.
But what it is great at is showing on professional wrestlers to the audience where their fake injury is.
Yeah.
And Danielson did a wonderful job of kinesio taping the hell out of his kayfabe neck injury.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. He was on the show wrestling now. That's great. So once Daniel Bryan throws Jeff Cobb into the ring, the match starts and then the music stops, right?
Yeah.
And all I wrote, 2 things. I wrote everybody looked amazing, and that Kyle Fletcher needs to hold on to that tombstone a little bit tighter.
Yeah.
Because it pissed off Jeff. So at some point, it's a ton of action. Like, I can't possibly write down everything.
Yeah.
Like, do yourself a favor, and if you want to watch a sprint of 4 guys that know how to sprint, this is for you. Kyle Fletcher does a tombstone to Bryan Danielson. And like he doesn't hold it all when he gets all the way down. Like, he kind of like lets it go.
Yeah, it's a little loose looking.
And he looks like he dropped Moxley right on his fucking head.
Yeah.
And I think he did, because the finish of the match saw John Moxley do a Death Rider on Kyle Fletcher.
That looked like he tried to murder him.
He tucked him and drilled his fucking ass into the ground. Holy shit. And I rewound it, and I'm like, even the announcers are like, oh, God.
It looked like some All Japan Misawa type shit.
It was
like, Jesus, Moxley,
it was
relax.
a receipt. It was a receipt, no doubt.
It clearly was.
Yeah.
He hasn't spiked anybody like that doing that move that I've seen before. So
when he does that, he usually, I think that's the first time I ever saw him do the move. Like, he just makes it like a modified suplex.
Yeah.
Like a double arm
usually
suplex.
when he does in Japan, when he does the Death Rider, there's a little more mustard to it, but like not like this. This was like
just tough.
Your head's going into the goddamn canvas, young man.
Don Callis family not having luck. He should be on the shelf for a while after that, but after the match, speaking of the Don Callis family, Takeshita comes out to help beat down.
Just looking swole as fuck.
Yeah, like his fucking Tekken 5 ass. He looks like literally like a not even like a PlayStation 5 character. He looks like PlayStation 1 or 2.
Like
character, just
like
so like
less
overly
realistic.
proportioned. Yeah. His proportions are way off. So it's Kyle Fletcher, Takeshita, and Jeff Cobb beating down Bryan Danielson and John Moxley. And then Claudio comes out in jeans and a a Blackpool Combat Club shirt, and he has a crowbar to save the day. He just had a gimmick change. Come on. Come on. I was so hopeful. Just come on.
Well, he didn't leave the
break this fucking group up.
Yes, I agree. Break the group up, but they haven't done that yet. So this wasn't like heartbreaking to see him come out with a crowbar.
It was. He just.
I don't never like, I have a long-standing dislike of jeans in pro wrestling. Big Bill's the only guy that's ever pulled it off. But
and the British Bulldog.
but I don't like whatever. I was fine with that with him.
You just put him
as long as he continues his gimmick of not talking and being a Terminator
and
kind
put
of
a
guy.
suit on.
Yeah,
Like if he walked slow to the ring like RoboCop, like I would have bought it a little bit better. Dude, I just want him to. I love that version of him so much, and when I saw him come out like this, I'm like, you're ruining the thing I love.
Yeah,
and you didn't have to do this, which is more.
I don't think it's out the window with that gimmick change. Though.
Better not be.
I just realized it's not 2 Seattle guys, it's 3.
Who?
I fell, so did you. Who closed the show?
Ah,
yeah.
All right. Yeah, Lane Staley showed up at some point. Resurrected from. Why did I go Lane Staley? There's so many alive guys. 800 guys in the Seattle music scene. I go with the guy that hasn't been around for most of it.
Rocky Allen.
We see at this point it's going to be about 41 minutes until Brian Cage versus Swerve Strickland in an Eliminator World Title match. Dude, I love that they do that shit. In the top right-hand corner, they did it last week. They clearly got good feedback on it.
I thought of you as soon as I saw it. I'm like, Dave was right. That is a cool thing. And they did it better this week, too, I think.
Yeah.
They actually stuck to it a little more. It kept popping back up.
It's dope.
Yeah. When they put the match graphic up, I was a little like, Brian Cage. But he fools me every time. Because every time I'm like, Brian Cage. And then during the match, I'm like, Brian fucking Cage.
Yeah.
Happens every time.
He's good. He's a consistently great hand.
He's the best jobber to the stars there is.
Yeah.
With
the deepest closet of gear that he puts gear on just based on how he's feeling that day.
Yes, yeah.
I feel like
his hair changes too. Like he might have just decide to grow out his Wolverine mutton chops.
Yeah.
And then he can somehow.
Hey,
and then he's got a mohawk. And then he's got the long boys. And then he's got face paint.
Yeah, are we doing face paint today? I don't know.
And it works for him.
Let's see. Let's see if I like the prizes on the Price is Right this morning. No face paint today. There wasn't a boat. Make him like a sociopath. They do next a Swerve and Christian hype video / recap from what happened last week. This next thing I really liked as a through story for the show. Adam Copeland comes out next, and on Collision, which I did not see, just I didn't have time. How was that match, by the way? Did you watch him and Buddy Matt? No, it was him and Kyle O'Reilly. Did you get to watch it?
Good. I watched Collision on Speed Run. There was a few things that I fucking loved Swerve on Collision this week. They made him look like my biggest takeaway was the Swerve thing from Collision. The Kyle O'Reilly match was very good as to be expected.
Yeah.
And then Copeland did his am I corrupted kind of thing at the end. If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But Swerve killed the whole embassy. He looked like Stone Cold in '98 or something.
He needs
ruled.
that. He needs that.
Yeah, and that's what made him cool, was the unhinged kind of psycho thing, and that's what he did. He it was all of them, but he took them all out by himself because he came down with a chain and from behind, choked the one dude out with the chain and ripped him out of the ring, and he just murdered everybody. Did the cinder block spot on the other guy and beat the shit out of Brian Cage.
Yeah.
What set up the match here? But it was my favorite Swerve thing that they've done since he won the title, because it made him look like a total badass.
Okay.
But yeah, the Copeland match was good with Kyle O'Reilly.
It's just dawning on me, and I could be getting this analogy wrong. Is he doing a Spawn character? Where he adores his family and he just does horrific shit to maintain the love for his family.
That very much could be. He's super into comics and respecting black characters from comics, which Spawn was.
Yeah,
that could be. He got the chain thing.
Once you said chain, I was kind of hesitant to say it because it seems too on the nose, but. Because
he did just do it. He just came out dressed as Black Panther.
Yeah.
So he's obviously into that stuff.
Did we ever figure out if it was that or Killmonger?
I still think it was Killmonger, but I never really confirmed.
Let's say it's that. That's fine.
It's because I've heard him reference Killmonger in interviews a bunch of times.
I'm great.
So
with that
I'm like,
case.
I'll just say that's what it is.
But also
that's a good pull. That might be the case. The Spawn thing.
Just the thought, just because his juxtaposition,
and they do the family thing in this episode.
That's what made me think of it. So Adam Copeland was challenged. I'm sorry, he challenged Malachi Black on Collision to a barbed wire steel cage match at Double or Nothing, and he says he's going to come on Dynamite to get his answer.
I like that Malachi is going to jump right from like 0 singles matches in the last 2 years to barbed wire steel cage.
Yeah, which I'm fine with.
Yeah, me too.
In his silky boxer shorts.
Yeah.
Him and Kofi have the same fucking tailor.
Hanging out in their suites in Vegas.
Yeah. So Edge is walking out. Adam Cole, no, fuck it, he's Edge. And Brody King and Buddy Matthews jump Edge on the ramp, and they drag him to the ring. He drops the TNT title. On his way, Malachi Black picks up the TNT title, and he walks to the ring. Brody King's holding Edge down, and Buddy has a chair. And then they both grab like an arm, so they're holding him. So Malachi gets in his face, and he says, Adam, I really don't understand why you try to keep up with this facade of what you think you are. And there are very audibly loud, shut the fuck up, chants. Yeah. And then Malachi gestures to the crowd. He's like, oh, then you're going to love this, to the crowd. It's Mr. Matthews, take his wedding ring, which, cool.
Yeah.
And Edge fights, he stands up and like he's fighting, but Brody King like legit chokes him out, and his body goes like totally limp, which, cool. Like, that's how you get anything off of everybody.
Brody. I love Brody, too. Like,
he's a heavy, and they're treating him like a heavy, which is great. He goes limp. Let's see.
Wedding ring.
Buddy hand takes it off. Takes off Edge's wedding ring, gives it to Malachi, and then he puts it on his wiener. No, he didn't put it on his wiener.
It's way too thick for that.
Poor Zelina. They put Edge in the corner. So he's sitting down like out cold in the corner, and then they put a chair on either side of like the ropes, but like they're on the apron where you would stand like in a tag match, but they put chairs there. So if you're Edge, you have a chair sitting on either side of your head, but the chair is outside the ropes. I think I explained that right.
Yeah.
Kyle O'Reilly comes in. He sees what's fucking going on. He's trying to fight everybody off. He fights off Buddy, and then he eats a big-ass lariat from Brody King in the ring, gets tossed out of the ring.
I would have liked Kyle to get a little bit more in here. He looked like kind of a bitch.
A little bitch, yeah. And then Malachi Black's outside the ring, and he hits Kyle O'Reilly with the end.
Yeah.
Still Black Mass. I don't care.
I'm just glad they gave it a name.
Yeah,
like,
the end.
It's got a name finally.
End.
After 3 years, it's got a name.
They should just play that Doors, like just that part of that song.
Yeah,
just when he hits it. House of Black gets back in the ring, and they do their triple attack. So both of the chairs get hit, and then he gets hit in the front. So Edge gets just jacked up to death during this. House of Black looking strong as fuck.
I'm very excited for the match.
So really quick prediction. You got
Beth Phoenix?
No, you think?
Wedding ring.
Fuck. I didn't even think of
Julia and Beth.
Julia. Damn it. I didn't go that deep, and now I don't have time to really process it. Well, Julia's hurt.
But she's healthy enough that she was able to wrestle a pretty decent sprint on a pay-per-view.
She's been off TV since that pay-per-view, though. Yeah. Maybe down the road, or maybe he keeps... Oh, we're going to have a Kali Ma situation here, a Temple of Doom thing, where like Edge is put under Malachi's spell. He's part of his group, and then Beth's
got to break the spell.
Beth's got to break She's got to stab him with a hot poker. Add Temple of Doom to the movie references.
Kali Ma Shakti Day. Om Nam Shivaya, Om Nam Shivaya, Om Nam Shivaya.
I think that Malachi's winning, and Edge is going to be... a White Walker.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm fine with it.
So.
I think the only thing I like minor kind of gripe about it is that like because of we're focusing so much on the spookiness and the White Walker. It seems like Malachi doesn't give a shit about winning the TNT title, which it hurts the belt when you're not when it's for a belt and you're not focusing on it being for the title.
They were like that with the trios titles, though.
Yeah,
like they had them and they lost them, and there's like, okay, we lost.
That's true. That's true. Like the Bang Bang Gang definitely cares more about their titles than
100%.
Like,
and I would argue that neither of these 6-man combinations need the title.
Yeah, no.
To be as entertaining and good. I'm really glad they're where they're at.
I love the Bang Bang Gang with the titles specifically because of like what they did in their backstage promo thing. Did you see that? Was that from the show, or was that
not
AEW exclusive?
If it was on this show,
I think it might have been a YouTube exclusive.
I did watch it on Hulu,
where they made their own. They have their own like cart to carry around all of their belts
that's
now,
kinda funny.
and it was a very funny
No,
segment
I would have
of them
remembered
all,
that. That's pretty funny, though.
Yeah, I think that was just a YouTube exclusive. Like I was mentioning before, I wish they would put more of this stuff on television.
Sounds super entertaining.
It's
Would
very
love to see it.
entertaining.
To their credit, though, not a lot of fluff on these shows.
No, there isn't. They do.
They're shoving a lot of
They
shit.
use the time,
And they're not putting on like 30-minute matches anymore on
No.
Dynamite. These matches are all between like 10 and 15 minutes
which
long.
I think is right for TV matches.
It's 100% right.
Once in a blue moon, if you're going to give me a Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson, like, oh my God,
Yeah.
one time a year match, that can
Yeah,
be 30
I
minutes or
agree.
whatever. But like, yeah.
I agree. Bryan Danielson should be on Dynamite one time per year. Up next, we had one of our camp is got to be very happy about this. We saw some footage about Eddie Kingston getting injured at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Resurgence this past Saturday.
It's like old Eddie got bit by the injury bug.
The Bucks and Jack Perry showed up to attack him in New Japan, and it looked like a big goddamn deal because it was their first time back in New Japan and a cup of coffee. And then Eddie Kingston
Might be since they fucking formed the company.
It's at least 5 years, right?
Yeah.
At least 5 years. Eddie Kingston is shown in a leg cast.
It's a crazy leg cast. It's like
big.
hip to toe.
Yeah. It looks like a jacuzzi suit.
Yes.
But, I can't hear you. I'm in my jacuzzi suit. That's when Milhouse became Fall Out Boy and his parents recklessly spent his money.
Of course they know.
Yeah. Stuss knows. It's the only one listening right now. But so he's out of the Double or Nothing match, and since we're referencing him directly, Stuss, happy for you, pal.
Yeah.
So Eddie Kingston's off the pay-per-view.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, we'll get to it by the end of the show, but quite the upgrade.
Quite the upgrade. Yes. So backstage,
Congratulations, me.
Yeah. We go backstage to the Elite. Matt Jackson goes, looks to me, guys, like Eddie Kingston might have got. Oh, you just said
I
this.
just did it.
Might have gotten bit by the injury bug this past weekend in New Japan. Jack Perry goes, well, that might mean Anarchy in the Arena is 4-on-3, unless, of course, you guys want to forfeit. Really bugged me that they said 4-on-3. Like you always, I feel like the little number always goes first.
Usually in that kind of,
Yeah. I don't know why I'm wasting time talking about this. It's a fucking stupid thought.
He's also supposed to be an annoying douchebag, too. So.
That's fair. Okay. If he's not that good at his job, that would
I don't know, man. On commentary later, too, I'm like, I still think that he's a pod person. I don't think he's the same Jack Perry.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that Jack Perry that I knew for 4 years or whatever could do on commentary what he does later in this show on commentary.
Yeah.
Like, it's a different guy.
Well,
I know that he went to Japan.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's
what
where
the hell? Like, he's a different guy.
They got to send Marco Stunt to Japan too because the Lucha faction. I'm sorry, the Luchasaurus faction not doing so hot.
Yeah, come on, kill switch is with my favorite faction in wrestling.
If you take the average,
And Jack Perry is, to my point, has revitalized his entire persona, career.
Okay, now let's
crushing it.
Now let's round out this average. Marco Stunt is
dead, as far as I know.
So on average,
he was always 4'8". He was never going to be a big star.
They're doing pretty average overall. Nick Jackson says, he's talking about the Anarchy in the
Nicholas.
Arena.
Thank you very
4-on-3.
much, Nicholas Jackson. Put some respect on the EVP's names.
You're not wrong because I do love this motherfucker now. Nicholas Jackson says, that's a great point, Jack. Hey, let's look at our track record. 3 weeks in a row, huh? The first week we take out the president and CEO Tony Khan. The next week, Kenny Omega. Now Eddie Kingston is on that list. Hey, we run this place. We're the elite and you're not. And then Kazuchika Okada says, and Dax, tonight I will destroy you. And then kisses his finger and goes, bitch.
He loves saying bitch. Yeah, Okada loves saying bitch.
I just realized I'm kind of bummed about something on this show. Nicholas Jackson didn't do a Nicholas Jackson.
He didn't do
line.
like a crazy,
It's like one of my consistently
they
favorite.
Had too much story stuff happening here. I didn't really have time for it. I think.
Let him breathe a little
Like,
bit. Right up next, we have the commercial for the new Young Bucks Reebok pumps that are coming to Champs Sporting Goods.
I'll be first in line.
very soon.
I haven't had a Reebok pump since literally like 1990.
Yeah, I'm pretty. I might actually like. I might wear these at shows.
Yeah.
And like my back might like just fix itself, which is pretty cool. Backstage after this, we had Renee with FTR. Dax has a Continental Championship match tonight against Okada.
Dax was so clearly shook that he got called bitch. Like I love him, but he's like the thinnest.
He's an anxious man.
He's just like, well, you're the bitch. You're the one that's a bitch.
No. And then Renee asks what their reaction is to being down a man at Anarchy in the Arena. Cash Wheeler says, first of all, they're not our EVPs. And I'm like, this is the most my pillow guy thing you could have said.
Yeah.
This is not my EVP, not my president.
Not my president.
Oh, Jesus. First of all, they're not our EVPs. That's just Matt and Nick to us. But second of all, you guys,
Dax has got to be like a
red
hat guy.
Come
right?
on.
Yeah.
Come on. Oh, by the way, Cash I think he got acquitted of all of his charges.
Celebrate!
Yeah,
Celebrate good times. I'm so happy for Cash.
Mr. Vice President, somebody finally bought a copy of your book.
Hopefully he can keep his gun in his pants. Going forward.
But second of all, if you guys honestly think we're going to forfeit Double or Nothing to you guys,
did he do that? Big sigh.
Oh no, I wrote this verbatim, but like as I'm reading it back, just contextually not right there. So, but second of all, if you guys honestly think we're gonna forfeit Double or Nothing to you guys, you think, oh, okay, he just kept the thought going. You think we're not gonna come into Anarchy in the Arena 3-on-4, 2-on-4, 1-on-4? Doesn't matter to us. But I think maybe we found a fourth for Anarchy.
He corrected your number thing there. Dax did. He's the babyface, so he corrected your number 3-on-4 instead of 4-on-3.
Well, we know it's purposeful now. I would love if they're that Shakespearean, like with their verbiage, where they're just switching numbers.
The Will Ospreay promo.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's got a superpower. I didn't know about that. And then Dax goes, "And Okada, name calling's not very nice, my friend." That's a bitch. And by the company you keep, it looks like you're the elite bitch. Maybe we'll find out tonight, huh? Top guys out. He's not the elite bitch. He's got a fucking title.
He's like they're heavy. He's like
he's the most mysterious one. Like I know his name.
Kind of the star of the show.
But like I know, but he's not positioned as like the tippy top guy.
Yeah.
He's like the not elder, but like he's the guy, the rock of the group.
Yeah.
Not like the Dwayne, but like the cornerstone of the group.
And mysterious is a good way to put it.
Yeah, and like he hasn't done a bunch since he's been here. So like we really,
but what he has done is
been fucking great.
Win titles.
I can't say enough good shit about this guy. I love when I listen to that's insane. And he's like, Okada, what are you doing, Okada? Okada. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up.
You're Disco fucking Inferno. Stop talking about Kazuchika Okada.
Shut up. Up next, we had a tag team championship eliminator match. The Young Bucks versus Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal. Okay, two thoughts here. One, I'm like, again, why the fuck these two? But also, two, is this just another the EVPs throwing their weight around?
It was they did this because they knew they were going to do what they did after the match.
Okay,
and they wanted to humiliate him on TV.
That's what I thought. Yeah. See, I'm learning. Because my 2 months ago, me would have been like, the fuck is Christopher Daniels doing here? Matt Sydal loses all the time. What's he doing on fucking TV? 8 minutes and 30 seconds. I did have a thought. So for eliminator tag matches, is it applicable to just that team? For example, if Christopher Daniels just keeps getting a new... Oh, he's fired. Oh, yep, he's fired now. But, okay, so he's gone. So let's say Matt Sydal gets a new partner next week and they lose. Can he have another eliminator match the next week? And then, like, he can just keep adding partners?
I don't know.
And just, perennially just challenge for the tag titles?
Yeah, well, it's one of the few instances where I don't know the nuts and bolts of that particular part of this AEW rule.
No, they
don't do a ton of tag eliminators.
No.
So
I think I don't recall one.
Like, I don't really either.
It's been a minute.
Which kind of adds to the only reason this exists is so the Bucks can fuck with them. So they could fucking humiliate Christopher Daniels.
Because the rankings are... Oh, by the way, I checked the rankings before I came over to your house. Current TBS champion on the rankings, Jade Cargill. So it's been a hot minute.
Oh, no, that's that... Like, somebody who works for the AEW website has not... Like, you can get to that... That's not their current rankings, but you can way too easily get to that page that shows their rankings from like a year and a half ago or something.
They should fire that guy.
They need to fix that.
And hire me.
Because it happened to me a bunch of times where I'm like, why is this like...
I would gladly update that site every 15 minutes. It's fine.
It's not fine. They need to fix that shit.
Oh, no, yeah. No, it's fine. No, it's fine for him. It's, Let the details go by the wayside. I thought Christopher Daniels was in a sling for a while, but I'm like, that's his choice that he made in his closet today. It's an odd choice.
I mean, he just wear like welder's goggles and like he's got an interesting look.
And it's different every time. I just wrote match was good. I knew where this was going.
I didn't know where it was ultimately going.
No. But like you knew the Bucks were fucking.
Yeah.
TK Driver on to Christopher Daniels for the win.
But
it was a Bucks match.
Yeah, it was, and they continue to improve and upgrade the EVP gear to be more conducive to wrestling matches. Like this is the spandexiest of their EVP gear that they've had. It's a lot more like flexibility, which makes it easier to wrestle matches. I also like that they continue to not be as flashy by any degree as they were when they were like even heels, but like flashy heels. I like that this character
super subdued
keeps them wrestling like the style that they're wrestling. Yeah, they're great at that too. So.
I mean, make it impossible to cheer them. Yeah. That's really what a good heel does.
This episode really went a long way to doing that.
They're continually doing the shit that I've been begging for them to do for a long time. This is like actual, like, I want to see you guys get your ass kicked after doing what you did on this show kind of thing. So after the match, Matt Jackson gets on. Excuse me.
We should have said this was the match that Jack Perry was on commentary for too.
Yeah, I tell you what, I fast forwarded a little bit through the matches because I was on a time crunch. Did he say anything noteworthy, like while on commentary, that you remembered?
He did a noteworthy thing
at the end. Yeah, I have that. Yeah,
but like nothing that changes a story or anything. It was much more of what we've been getting from these guys. He was like talked about how like the Dapper Yapper needs to be more respectful and be a little more enthusiastic when, calling out the Bucks names when they're doing the introductions and a lot of stuff like that. But it was good. It was quick, better than Jack Perry ever was, contributing to my theory that it's a different human being that they brought in. But it was just like nothing world changing, just consistent to be.
Okay. So after the match, Matthew Jackson gets on the microphone. They're walking up the rampway, by the way. So Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal are still in the ring. And Matthew Jackson, tip of the tongue, lips.
Match and
slow
dash,
down.
I guess.
Matthew Jackson says, Christopher Daniels, last week you spoke down to us and you even put your hands on me. As an executive, you should know better. We're trying to clean up the locker room and office from toxicity. It's funny. It's a funny line. We've been working hard for several months, and you're trying to screw things up? Are you kidding me? So, unfortunately, Christopher Daniels, we're the bearer of bad news tonight. See, we got to let you go. You're fired.
We got to let you go. You're fired.
But don't worry. We're not evil. We're going to take care of your family. We got you a sweet severance package. You're going to be getting a check for at least the next 30 days. So 2 more checks. And in an effort to make this, to not make this so awkward, we've even arranged for a security escort out of the building. Your EVPs want to say thank you so much for 5 years of kick-ass work. You are a rock star. We love you to death. Good.
Loved it. And Christopher Daniels is like a beloved original.
Yeah.
So
people
effective. Were like, boo,
this is what I've been waiting for, man.
And
there's more.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So then he goes, stick around for the rest of the show, everybody. We got some great action. Can we get an AEW chant on 3? And they go, AEW.
Loved that.
So Jack Perry broke a fourth wall. I didn't know that Woo Energy drink was an accessible item that characters can drink on this show. And he is drinking some Dragon Fruit Woo Energy drink. And he stands up and he goes, let me raise a toast to the Bucks. These guys are always, and he's on commentary, so like the house can't hear him, just us at home. These guys are always making the hard decisions no one else wants to make. Let's raise a toast. Here, Shivani, take a drink, you stooge. And then he pours McCann, like a lot of it, all over Tony Schiavone.
And it's Woo Energy, too. Yeah. So, Jesus Christ, poor Tony. Yeah. That's like the cheat code. Shivani is so beloved by the AEW faithful that you fuck with him. And it's why MJF used to always go back to the Shivani
the old
fat prick.
Fat prick, that's it.
Great. It was great.
Shivani's sitting there looking like his cat just died,
Like
and then
the
he just
saddest.
goes, "You son of a bitch," just looking miserable. He's not moving a muscle. He's soaked in energy drink, and he's just so
and woo.
it's like he's rethinking his like. He's like, I got to update my resume. I fucking hate it here, kind
And
of thing.
Excalibur calls for a mop, and Taz is like, a mop. What the hell are you talking about?
A+ segment.
Yeah,
A fucking
absolutely.
plus segment.
Yeah. It's
Did its absolute
probably
job.
my favorite thing on the show.
It was so goddamn good. Backstage, we had Renee Paquette with Toni Storm, Mariah May, and Luther. I think this was my favorite thing on the show.
I was gonna say, if there's a close second, man,
Toni
she is a
Storm.
fucking bright and shining star.
Teach a promo class
Yeah.
when it comes to character work. So Renee says that Toni is in a grudge match tonight against Harley Cameron, and that Saraya, Mariah May, and Luther have all been banned from ringside. And what are her thoughts about being laid out by Serena Deeb last week? Really quickly, explain the Harley Cameron thing. Why is this a grudge match? Do you know? Did they have like a collision or a rampage thing?
It was Harley Cameron and Mariah May. I don't know if I can't remember if it was Collision or Dynamite last week. Yeah.
Okay. So Toni Storm said, "First things first, my maternal instincts have been kicking in and my ovaries must be heard." Great line. Harley Cameron, you want to assault and abuse a sweet and angelic child? You'll have to answer to the bosom that she clings to. Toni Storm's cradling Mariah May's head.
Cling to her bosom.
Yeah, she's got her head on her chest. Because it's going to be you and me, and I'm going to take your womb to the woodshed. And Serena Deeb, thank you for knocking me out so I don't have to listen to another second of your sob story. God damn it. You want to hitch yourself to this caboose? You're in for a bumpy ride, and I promise that you'll end Double or Nothing just like every other degenerate in Las Vegas. Flat on your back with an ass in your face wondering where the bloody hell your dignity went. And tonight you can bet your bottom dollar on this old whore that you all adore that everything is coming up. Chin, tits, shoe.
Chin, tits, shoe. I absolutely love. This old whore that you all adore, she's 28 years old. She's just wonderful. Loved every
If there
part
is an
of it.
award for like isolated promo of the year,
Yeah.
it's
right there.
A nomination.
Yeah, it is right there.
Holy shit, this was good.
She's the best lady talker on earth, right? In
Yes,
wrestling?
by
Yeah,
him.
okay.
Well, it's either her or Becky Lynch.
It's just absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
And
Perfect.
she
Covered so much ground.
she's also fixed the thing that the only thing I didn't like about the character was that she did too much of the character stuff in the ring, and she seems to have adjusted that. So she is on top of the world right now.
Yeah, this is a perfect presentation.
Yeah.
And I can't get over how good this promo was.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It made me laugh, literally laugh out loud 4 different times.
And just one line about the Serena Deeb thing, because
crushing.
We spent 10 fucking minutes on it last week.
Bitching about the same thing. She made concisely, exactly the same thing that we said in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
In 6 words.
It was dope. It was so good. And then it cuts to another fucking cool thing. So backstage, Malachi Black is just by himself, and wherever the fuck they hang out, it's a differently lit space. He's holding Edge's wedding ring, and Malachi's like, "Wow, look at that. It's gorgeous. Everything that is holding you back or held you back is such a small little trinket. All your hopes, your dreams, your children, your wife, your memories, all of this. Speaking of holding you back, a barbed wire cage match. See, I knew there was a part of you that still existed. And of course I accept. But if I beat you, and I will, you bend the knee to the House of Black." They're doing such a good job with promos.
Yeah, they are. I do want to know what his definition of being held back is, though, because if his family's Edge's family's holding him back. He's 19-2 and he's the TNT champ. He's been in the company for 4 months and he's a champion.
I mean, they're doing. I think now that you said it, I think this is a way to get Beth Phoenix into the company.
Yeah.
But who knows? That's a new wrinkle and everything. So we don't know why he's being held back.
Yeah,
So good, very good fucking eye. That, and as you were posing that, I'm like, oh, yeah, he's fucking. he's like the unbeatable top old guy.
He has 2 losses this whole time here.
This next segment was, I think it was good. I That's fine. We'll get to it. We'll get to the parts that I was iffy about. Hook versus Sebastian Wolf. So it was a jobber. This is a 28-second match. This is Hook's first match and appearance since Dynasty, which was on April 21st.
This was probably my most iffy thing, too, on the show.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fine, but everything else was kind of stellar. So fine.
By comparison.
It's only fine.
Yeah. So the match was, and it was 28 seconds, so he does a T-bone Tazplex, big forearms across the face, and then a red rum tap out for the win.
It was clearly going to be that going in.
It should have.
Sebastian Wolf.
Sebastian. Jobber to the stars. Mm-hmm. So Hook gets on the mic, and he says, this isn't what I'm here for. I'm here for Chris Jericho and my FTW championship. Chris, get out here right now. And then Chris Jericho and Big Bill come out. Chris Jericho's new theme song is called Spotlight by Fozzy. So smart,
It's a Fozzy song.
which is what you should be doing. If
I like at the open, I am the learning tree.
It's weird to hear the song because the part that he comes out to doesn't kick in for 45 seconds into the actual song. Like it's got this real long like
intro.
And it's just smart. I never understood. I'm like, you have a band. Change your song every fucking time you put a record out.
I only ever wrote one good song.
I think it's a matter of forcing it down your throat kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like if it's a recognition thing, like you'll learn to be like, oh, I'm going to go see Fozzy.
Yeah.
You know? Chris he's walking down the ring. Hi, guys. Hi, everybody. Hook, it is so great to have you back. I hope you learned a few lessons after you essentially hit yourself in the face with a baseball bat.
I love that he's sticking to that.
Yeah. I understand why you did it. I hope what he meant to say is I don't understand why you did it, but he says, I understand why you did it. I hope you figured it out. I'm just glad you called me out here. I love being on Dynamite so much, even if it means sharing the spotlight with somebody. I just love it. Such a disingenuous twat. He's so good at it.
He's kind of ripping off the Bucks, by the way. I've said this a couple times now, but it's becoming more prominent to me. I'm like, you're kind of stealing the Bucks' current thing.
It's not as sagey and like rooted.
Not exactly the same, but it's the same vibe.
It's looking at it. Hook says, share the spotlight. Chris, I don't want to share the spotlight. I want all the spotlight on you. Getting your ass beat by me for my FTW championship here tonight.
I liked Hook's demeanor, delivery. I like the fuck the spotlight. I just want to beat your ass.
Loved it. Jericho says, would you like to see that, guys? To the crowd. They go nuts. I would too, but unfortunately, Hook, this is not a fighting moment. It's not. It's a teaching moment. And what I want to teach you is the world doesn't revolve around you, okay? You need to be a little less selfish when it comes to this business. Less selfish like me. Think of others, Hook. Remember that. And the crowd starts chanting, please retire.
Please retire.
Yeah. And he goes, Jericho goes, this is great. I know why you want me to retire, because you know what I do? I'll be inducted into every Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame in the world, but I'm not ready for that yet, and neither are you. The Redwood and I are here to entertain everybody. Everybody watching at home, everybody here tonight, right? That's why this is the For the World title. It's not the For the Hook title. I don't see your name on it. I see my name on it.
I'm liking this better now that we're reviewing it.
This made me audibly laugh because he put a nameplate on it.
Yeah.
And he goes, I see my name on it. Learning Tree, Chris Jericho. I didn't even tell anyone I was putting this on. I'm such a scamp.
All right. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah. I want to teach you a lesson that when you lose a title, you don't just get to be at the front of the line. You got to work your way back up again. Which he doesn't do.
No, it's just never.
That's why this Saturday on Collision, you and a few others.
It's also not a real title. It's you wouldn't need to work your way up at all because it's just it's a thing.
It's like a bragging rights title essentially. That's why this Saturday on Collision, you and a few others are going to have a qualification match, and if you can win this match, then maybe you'll get a chance to face me again for the World Championship. Calls it the World Championship.
Do you think there was a botch, or do you think that he was doing that intentionally? It was weird.
Well, it's for the World Championship, so the W is World.
I guess, yeah.
Let's give him credit because he's been so on fire lately.
Yeah, he is.
He's like, how's that sound? That sound good? That made me laugh, too. He's talking to him like he's a child. Hook says, yeah, Chris, that's great. Sounds great. You know what else sounds good? And he poorly hits Chris Jericho in the head with a microphone.
Yeah. Sounds good, though.
I had to watch this 800 times. I think he got him hard way.
Yeah.
Because he hit him with the foam of the microphone. But Chris Jericho keeps touching his head, and I'm like, oh, it would be in his character to do just like a blood packet here.
It bumped, though.
Yeah, but So what happens next is Big Bill attacks Hook, and then it's a 2-on-1 beatdown. Shibata's music hits, and like once Shibata's music hits, you see him touch his head, and there's a little bit of blood. And by the end of the segment, his whole fucking hand is covered in blood. So I'm like,
I gotta go back. I gotta rewatch this.
Yeah, like if it was a blood packet, he did a really excellent job hiding it, but like I think he got him hard way, like pretty bad. Shibata comes out, and then he gives a big boot to Big Bill. Chris Jericho, again, showing his hand covered in blood. So I don't know. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool
like,
segment.
Yeah, like I said, I thought it was just fine, but now talking about it, there's a couple things that were pretty damn funny, and I like the way that Hook came off. I think I like what this led to, the backstage thing too. I think I'm not sure. I haven't decided on this yet, but like I think I like it.
It's strange. I mean,
it's a different direction for somebody. So like,
it's also reminding you that we're in a company we're trying to all do the same thing.
Yeah.
Buddy up as much as you want, but at the end of the day, as Austin said, if you're not here to win the world title, what the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah.
Speaking of the world title, backstage we have the world champion, Swerve. He says, State of Washington, congratulations. Your boy brought home a world championship. This past weekend on Collision, I ended a chapter of my life that was called the Mogul Embassy, which you were telling me about earlier. Yep. Toa Leone and Bishop Khan, they bit the hand that fed them, and they got put down.
They did get put down.
I want to watch that. You've convinced me to actually turn that back on. My focus now is at Double or Nothing coming up against Christian Cage. We're going to get to that soon. I was the one that got put into a coffin. Yeah, sure. But I'm the one that's going to put you in your grave. Speaking of which, tonight, Brian Cage, consider yourself the final nail in that coffin of the Mogul Embassy. Everybody, welcome Brian Cage to Whose House?
And yeah, great response from the crowd because they're in the Seattle area.
And then Swerve walks to the ring because he is about to have an AEW World Championship Eliminator match against Brian Cage that lasts 14 minutes, 49 seconds.
14 minutes and 49 seconds of fucking awesomeness.
Yeah, this is good. This is good. Admittedly, I did, at this point, I had to fast forward through matches, but because I wanted to get all the promos on the show were goddamn home runs.
Fantastic. Yeah. This was a surprise of as much of a home run as it was.
Yeah.
I joke that every time Brian Cage, I'm like, oh shit, and then I'm like, oh, it's actually really good. This one was really, really good. There was a couple of spots that were absolutely outstanding, and only Brian Cage could have done them.
It's also storytelling. I wrote, this is an eliminator match that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
These guys have a story together. Usually it's just some random ass match, and if Brian Cage wins, now we have some actual weight to one of these for a change instead of just
and if he loses, you can put a cap on it. It's over, like Swerve just said.
Absolutely.
Now we can cut ties with that and move on as a babyface.
Yes.
And I do, as much as I do bitch about the tweener, I don't think he's a tweener. I think he's a full-on babyface. But it can be construed as a tweener thing. Him doing the kind of badass loner thing. Yeah. But I think it works for him real well. I think that is the best Swerve, the best possible good guy Swerve is that guy.
The only thing, and I mentioned this before, this is a production thing. Can they change his fucking Introtron? It's comic book font. It's super bright. It's got more Willow Nightingale vibes than Swerve Strickland.
Yeah.
That's a minor down.
I agree with you though. It is very comic booky.
Yeah.
And he's a psycho.
The Mogul Embassy,
he's killing people with fucking cinder blocks and stuff. So yeah.
But when he comes out with the Mogul Embassy, that's correct.
Yeah.
That's dark and gritty and give that to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I didn't. I just know that he won with the house call for the W, and I was super happy that he used the house call.
Did you catch the spot where he did Swerve did the tope and Brian Cage caught him in a vertical suplex position?
What?
And then held him like a delayed vertical. So Swerve dives, Cage catches him just in that position and just holds him there for 10 seconds and then suplexes him on the outside. That was the primary spot that I was like, God damn. But the general, the tenor of the match was that, a bunch of those kinds of spots where this crazy bass, insanely powerful dude that was also crazy athletic. Swerve got to do all of his stuff because you don't usually have a guy like that in there with you. So Swerve got to do all of his, I have a great bass. It was the Claudio match, a lot of that similar kind of stuff. And then he was like having trouble putting Cage away because he's this big giant monster animal guy, and he got to go to his like more dastardly evil stuff, but that works great for Swerve even as a babyface, where he did the arm breaker kind of spot and like a couple of different Swerve stomps. But it was, and then the arm breaker and then a house call to like finish him off. It was like kind of heelish way to finish the match, but it made sense within the story of the match that they were telling, because Cage was like, it was really difficult to put him away. So he's like, all right, I'm going to have to do what I got to do. And he did. And it was like nasty stuff, but it's cool because it's Swerve doing nasty stuff.
Well, I mean, he preceded the the match with a promo saying it's final nail in the coffin. Like,
and it fit. Yeah.
I do want to go back and watch this match. And the one on Collision. You're fucking hyping up. So you are doing a nice Prince Nana impression right now because you are hyping him
Who's
up.
House? It's my favorite week that he's had as champ.
Oh, good. I'm glad he jumped over all his matches. There's a new show debuting on AEW.
I'm very excited for it. Looks like a lot of fun.
Meal and a match with Renee Paquette and RJ City, where they basically just eat and watch a match, and they talk to one of the guys in the match. Are they going to cook?
It looks like show? It. I think so. I think it's a cooking show.
This is really clever.
I'm just happy to have RJ City and Renee doing stuff together. Did you see the post-match Swerve stuff?
I skipped over an entire... Wait, no. Dude,
Cage?
I wrote it all down. I don't know why we skipped it. I was looking at that meal and a match thing.
I'm excited.
We got to get to the important
The first episode,
shit.
Eddie Kingston is the guest, which seems a little like obvious, but I'm very excited for the show.
Well, they pulled the Blue Thunder pod and just didn't reply, so it's just Eddie Kingston. After the match, after the Swerve Brian Cage match, Swerve Strickland grabs a couple chairs. He hits Brian Cage in the back once, and as he hits him, Christian Cage's music hits. He and Mother Wayne are at the top of the ramp.
Mother Wayne.
And then Nick Wayne and Killswitch are coming from the crowd, and they attack Swerve from behind.
He gets nutted.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yep. Christian Cage. Oh, so Killswitch and Nick Wayne are holding him down while this is happening. Christian Cage is talking him down. Christian Cage is walking to the ring with Mother Wayne, and Christian Cage says, "You embarrassed my son, Nick Wayne, when you attacked him at his gym, at his home right down the street here in Everett, Washington last year. You embarrassed my son, and now I'm forced to embarrass you." And Christian produces a photo of Swerve's wife, mama?
Wife.
It's his wife?
I believe wife at this point.
And his daughter. And he says, Christian says, "Do you think your daughter is proud? Maybe we should ask her, Swerve, huh? Are you proud of your absentee father?" And then Christian rubs the photo in Swerve's face. By the way, Swerve is bleeding at this point.
Fucking gushing.
Yeah, he's bleeding.
They hit an artery or something.
Yeah. So he says, "Tonight I took your blood, Swerve. In 2 weeks at Double or Nothing, I take your World Heavyweight Championship." And then Swerve is growling like he's halfway through a Wolfman transformation.
They busted him up and they're rubbing his blood on his daughter's face, basically.
I can't in good consciousness not credit Patrice O'Neal for that line. He's halfway through a Wolfman transformation. It's not my line. And then Christian Cage.
He's dead. He couldn't have called you out on it.
The stand-up comedy community is
True.
They're worse than George Orwell with their thought police shit. If you say anything that could resemble anything else, they try to ruin your life. It's the most important artistic expression you could have. Comedy is sacred. Meanwhile, I make a living playing other people's songs.
I feel like that. I feel that way about pro wrestling, so I shouldn't. I can't really knock them for being their gatekeeper-y.
Just go tell your dick jokes and shut up. And then Christian Cage says Christian Cage has been saying he's going to take something from him every week. Last week it was the Mobile Embassy. This week it's his blood. In 2 weeks it's going to be.
Is the Mobile Embassy like the miniature version on your phone of the Mogul Embassy?
Did I say mobile? No, I didn't.
I'm gonna have to check the tape, but
I'm
pretty sure you did.
The Mobile Embassy. No, Mobile Embassy is a game I have on my phone where I'm building a small town. And then I have to fight other small mobile embassies. Yeah. It's the mobile game is called Mobile Embassy. Stupid. So Christian Cage is trying to slowly dismantle him. Fine. He's losing at the pay-per-view, which is great.
Yeah, probably, but
did you know there's There's a new show coming to AEW. A meal and a match with Renee Paquette and RJ City. So backstage next we had Renee Paquette, Hook, and Shibata. I really like this segment.
I did too. Where was Lexi Nair? Is she off this week? I'm just realizing it's Renee in every one of these segments.
And then the new girl, whose name I can't remember.
Arkham
I
Asylum.
have to read. Arcadi or something like that. Arcadi. Yeah, she must have been. Which is good for me because I don't recognize these people because they don't put their names on the bottom of the screen.
You're like, you see Lexi Nair like I see Bobby Lashley. In empty space.
Yeah.
The microphone just like levitating in the air.
I'm like, I know you. But I don't know you. Renee asks Hook if the numbers game is becoming too stacked against him. Hook says, the odds cannot mean less to me. Whoever I need to beat to get my hands on Jericho, I will beat. And Shibata, in his voice translator, says, even me? And they go, ooh. I want another shot at Jericho, too. Hook says, push comes to shove. Hook versus Shibata to get their hands on Jericho. That's fine by me. And then, I forgot about this. Now I hate this segment immediately. Samoa Joe comes in.
Well, that's what I was saying. I haven't decided on this one yet.
I forgot about this part.
Like I don't.
It's dropped at 30
I'm going to let
points.
it play out. I do like that they're pivoting because Joe's been the same character for a million years. So do something else with him.
Fine. I'd be a little more pissed off that I lost the world title that I held for a while. You know, just saying. Just saying. Like, he just doesn't care anymore. It's always been strange to me when, and this is the history of wrestling, when somebody loses a title and then they just like, oh, I'm over here now.
The problem is, and I understand that, but the problem is if you do that, then
it's a clock.
You're always the same two guys going back and forth just trying to get the title back.
They pay it off well. Like, I don't know why this one came to mind, but Undertaker versus Bret Hart at the Highway to Hell SummerSlam. Shawn Michaels is a special guest referee, right? So they got out of that match and set up what ended up being the first Hell in the Cell match.
Yeah.
Right? But, like, there's ways to book things to get guys away from the title.
Yeah.
Not just lose and come back in a fucking Hawaiian shirt.
But it's like, it's really difficult, and it only has been done, like, smoothly a couple of times.
I think I mentioned the most famous way
yeah,
to do
like,
it.
Ever. So
sure, but, like, it's Joe. He's good.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, I don't know. Minor down, but just, like,
But it seems like they're turning on babyface, which I kind of want to see a Joe babyface run.
Like you said, well, cautiously optimistic. Yeah. It's the.
I haven't decided. Like I said, I have not decided whether I like this or not. I'm going to let it play out.
Yeah. So Samoa Joe comes in with a very floral whole shirt, and he says,
"I did like that."
Yeah,
the line. But
Samoa Joe says, "Really? What is this? Who are you?" He's talking to Hook. It wasn't too long ago that I thought you were something special, but then week after week, I watch you come out here and fall into the same trap over and over and over and over again. And now Jericho's got you at your own man's neck. Sad. You know what's sad? That if you two people stop playing yourselves, you might actually be dangerous around here. I like that one.
Yeah.
Nice sage advice, Joe. Hook says, I'll fight you. I'll fight Joe. I'll fight you. I'll fight you, Joe. And then, Joe has walked off right before he said that. So Joe walks off. Hook says, I'll fight you. I'll fight you, Joe. And then Shibata's voice translator says, he's too large to be wearing a floral pattern. And then Renee goes, it's a busy shirt.
It's a busy shirt. I don't hate the idea of a Joe Hook Shibata stable either. They kind of work together.
I'm good with that.
And the Joe Hook thing's been going on a long time.
You know what that means, though? Then we're going to get Joe and Jericho.
I don't want that.
No.
That's my biggest fear about this.
You're going to get it.
Joe and Jericho. And I'm pretty sure we are going to get it, and I don't want that at all.
Joe might win the FTW title because he looks more like Taz than anybody else.
He does. I think we are going to get that, and that I don't want or like. But the other stuff around it, I can see being a good thing.
Yeah,
possibly. We'll see.
Like you said, said cautiously.
It's a new thing, so we'll let it play out.
Up next, we had a grudge match: Toni Storm versus Harley Quinn, which was off the heels of that
Harley
amazing
Cameron.
I wrote Harley Quinn. Harley Cameron. 7 minutes and 9 seconds. I tend to fast forward through this match at this point. I just know the finish.
It was kind of a basic match because Harley Cameron's had 20-something matches total in her life. Mm-hmm. But that said, it's goddamn amazing how good Harley Cameron is for having 20-something matches in her life.
Yeah.
She's got the basics like down pat, like all her footwork and all the shit that usually is a mess with like new people. She's very good at, she's very proficient at already, and she's in there with Tony Storm, who's like the safest possible person to put her in there with. Who she knows everything. Yeah. Like she's as veteran a hand as you can get. So it was just a solid match. I especially considering I didn't know Harley Cameron was a pro wrestler 3 weeks ago. I thought she was just a character. Her look is
to see like she's stereotyped as like, oh, you're here like to be looked at,
100%,
not to work,
and that's what makes it kind of like jarring, even more pleasant surprise. Yes, jarring more, but also like, oh, that's even cooler. That like, oh, you can kind of go like she clearly has a future in pro wrestling. Good. Like just
break that mold, man.
Yeah.
Make people
surprised the shit out of me though.
Yeah. I did see that the finish was a Storm Zero for the W for the
yeah. I'm not sure if Tony's a heel or face though. I did like it felt like she was going full baby face last week, and then this week it's like back to kind of tweenery. I can't complain too much because she cut the promo of the goddamn year.
Is this based on how she worked the match?
Kind of, yeah.
At some point, Serena Deeb did come out with her big flag. And she was nicely dressed, not in her ring gear, just nice formal attire.
As long as she's not talking.
Yeah. And then afterwards, I did see Toni Storm as the camera went off of her from this segment to Serena up the ramp. She goes, "Now piss off."
Yeah.
And then this is what I was typing feverishly, which made me skip. Watching basically the rest of the show because I wanted to get every word that this fucking guy said. I gotta drink water because I'm choking. Pardon me.
The backstage promo of the year.
Arcadi Ora, which is her name, had Will Ospreay, Roderick Strong, Wardlow, and then Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. So Arcadi says she thanks everybody for agreeing to no physicality during this. And she basically says, Will Ospreay, how does this feel different? And Will says, I feel like the world's eyes are definitely on me, but there's a sour taste in my mouth, especially after last week. Shane Taylor doing all the work, and you just stand over me, you and your little bell end little mates. Bell end means the glands of a penis, by the way.
It's the head of your cock.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, it looks like a bell. It's the bell end of your dick.
I Googled it. It said the glands. I didn't know that was a gland.
Neither did I.
Yeah.
That's what it means. The bell-looking head of your dick.
Yeah. All right. Nice. But do you know what I hate the most about this, mate? I hate that you are so comfortable around me with that championship. That's another Patrice O'Neal line. He said that about Mike Tyson. White people. At the roast of William Shatner, Patrice is like, Mike, I don't like how comfortable white people are around you. I hate that you are so comfortable around me with that championship.
Bruv. He's doing bruvs.
I write the bruvs.
Okay.
And there are two reasons why you can be that comfortable. Number one, if I lunge over there, put my hands around your throat, I get the feeling these guys are going to get involved. And number two, maybe it's because I've retired the Tiger Driver 91. Now, I have no idea what type of mind games that you're playing by wanting me to unretire the move, and I've asked why you're playing these mind games because you're playing them piss poor, son. Rod, you know what it feels like to be dropped on your head and have that power go out of your arms. I've done that move on people I love, that I respect. Allow me to tell you right here, right now, I do not respect you. And now, because of your talent, that's the reason why you're a champion, bruv, because you never respected me. Ring of Honor, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, Progress, even Southside Wrestling, you've always looked down on me, bruv. You've never had any respect for me, so in turn, I've got none for you, bruv.
I want to know where Southside Wrestling is based out of.
I hope it's here.
I would be heartbroken if that happened and I missed it.
Yeah.
If there was a Southside.
You could watch the next come up, right? So Roddy goes, that's the smartest thing you've ever said. I don't have respect for you. And I never had. And it's the fact that you are so talented in the ring, but you're such an idiot out of the ring. And you think that you got a missus and a child, that you're this responsible man. Will, you're still the little child that you've been, and you always will be. You don't deserve this title. You got to understand this. I overcame something traumatic in my life, a neck injury that almost took me out. But I don't quit. And everything I've had and everything I will get, I've worked for day in and day out. So I don't care who everyone thinks you are. I know who you are, and you, my friend, are a fraud. You are a coward, and you are a child, and at Double or Nothing, I'm going to end this.
I think this was Roddy's like best promo work, and it is totally overshadowed because Will Ospreay's fucking Shakespearean here.
It's not. It's not the Adam shit that we're like. This is no character shit.
No,
this is just
it's
too like.
Yeah,
we're gonna fucking.
This should have happened in the ring. Like 100%. It was.
You're not wrong.
My biggest gripe about this show this week was that just this should have happened in front of people.
It would have been very cool. And then Will Ospreay finishes it off. It says, "At Double or Nothing, this is why I'm gonna be. At Double or Nothing, this is why this is gonna be sweet for me, man. You're gonna learn a lesson of humility, bruv. You're gonna learn a lesson for all those years you looked down on me, all those years you buried me to all the Ring of Honor guys. This is gonna be so sweet because I'm gonna take that one thing that makes you super important, mate. I am the best wrestler in the world, internationally known as the greatest wrestler of all time. And now Sunday is my time to show everybody why I am the best and why I'm Will Ospreay on another level."
He did when
Take my fucking money.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Like we talked about, like one of the few that's his promos are talking you into the building still. Like
one of the few, yeah.
He did one thing I think is skipped over, or because it was like a side thing. But when they asked Bellend, he said Bellend, and they're like, "What's Bellend?" He's like, "Yeah, Bellend number 1, Bellend number 2, and this big veiny Bellend right here."
Oh, I missed that part. Damn it.
It's all right. I got to do my Ospreay.
That's it. It was on purpose. Did you a favor?
Yeah, he is wonderful. The only drawback is that I'd rather this have happened.
Yeah,
I understand why they would do it differently because they did like a contract signing thing, and that has to be in front of people. Yeah. But like, I don't give a shit. I'd rather this still be out.
You want
in front
what you
of the
want.
Crowd. Yeah.
It's weird how you don't get what you want in this company. You wanted this in the crowd. I want Bryan Danielson to wrestle once a fucking year.
You want not things. You want things to not happen that happen. I'm asking for things to happen.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Absent makes the Danielson grow fonder. And this is, again, I wrote this so word for word that I know what happened for the rest of the show, but I do not have detailed notes. So
it's going to be real fast too, Dave. Because what I'll tell you is the next segment was the contract signing for Willow Nightingale and Mercedes Moné.
She looked great.
My
God.
They essentially did a promo battle over the contract signing. It's exactly what you would think. Both are saying the same shit that they've been saying. Like you said, you've alluded to before. They probably started this feud a little bit too early because they are kind of out of stuff to say at this point. I will say Willow did a really, really good job on her end of the promo part. Mm-hmm. She's been kind of leaning into I am a babyface, but like, understand I'm an ass kicker too. Yeah. She hadn't really leaned into the understand I'm an ass kicker too part until recently. Right. And she's really putting that forward now, as was especially evidenced by the end of this segment after both signed the contract for the title match. And Mercedes essentially is doing her taunt and like her dance thing. And Willow's just like, fuck this, and grabs a hold of her, gets her up into the Dr. Bomb girl with the power bomb, and just like pastes her through the table. Yeah,
I did see that.
First bump that she's taken, that Mercedes is taking in the company, and it made Willow look like a badass. It also means that she's absolutely losing the title. She was already gonna anyway. Yeah. But that's like the biggest tell in wrestling when like the baby, especially if it's a babyface champ, gets the upper hand in the last segment, which I assume this is going to be. I don't think they're going to do anything else with these two.
Not
next week into the pay-per-view. I think it's got to be it because it's the contract signing.
Or if they do, it'll be like a satellite thing where
yeah.
Mercedes is nursing an injury,
something
or
like that.
that.
Yes. This should be the last shot before the title match. I think that match is going to fucking rule. Yeah. And unfortunately, Willow's going to lose because I love her. My favorite. But the match is going to roll. Yeah. I've seen these two already in the ring together, but before Mercedes got hurt, they had like wonderful chemistry in that match. Yeah. So I know that they can and will deliver. And I liked this because it was physical. It's the first physical thing that she's done, and really outside of like a slap here and there, first physical interaction between these two since the injury way back. And I like Willow leaning into the like, I'm not fucking around here. Like it makes it feel like a bigger deal. Like she does care, and she's not questioning herself anymore. It's like I belong here. I am the champ for a reason.
Yeah.
It accomplished exactly what it set out to do. And we got to see Mercedes take a bump, which
about time.
Nice to see that it can actually happen, because I wasn't so sure.
Yeah.
And then the last thing you missed was the main event of the evening.
I know it was Dax Harwood versus Kazuchika Okada for the Continental Championship.
And the match itself was exactly what you would think that would be. Great match. Just a great match between these two. I'm not going to do the spot for spot thing.
Yeah.
It was just them doing their thing. Wasn't like a overly long. Had the crowd with them the whole time. Of course, Okada won. We knew that going in. The most important thing that came out of this match was the post match. Dax is getting a beat down from the Elite. Cash comes down to try to make the save. And then Danielson comes down also assist, but because Cash was already kind of taken out, the numbers game is like way against the baby faces here. And then to everyone's great surprise and joy, and myself included, Darby Allin's music hits, because he's apparently a fucking superhuman who heals from broken feet and bust injuries faster than any other person on earth, wearing a dope ass Tyler Durden pink fur coat, wails away on all the Elites with his skateboard. And it is announced right then and there, the graphic comes up that, oh my God, Darby is actually the fourth member of Team AEW for Anarchy in the Arena. So we get to see Darby goddamn Allin in an Anarchy in the fucking arena match. Holy shit, I hope he doesn't die.
I mean, he's going to try.
Yeah.
He's going to do his best.
That's the joke I heard was Darby agreed to come back early as long as Tony Khan agreed to let him jump off the building in this match. What an upgrade. I like Eddie Kingston and all, but god damn it, it's Darby Allin.
Isn't even
it's Darby Allin.
Yeah.
Like Darby Allin against this Elite. Darby Allin in an Anarchy in the Arena match.
Yeah.
Holy shit. It took the pay-per-view potential from a 10 to a goddamn 11.
Yeah.
I'm very, very excited for this show.
Since we raced through that, do you want to look at this card so far for this pay-per-view?
Yeah, why not?
I have it pulled up. So Jon Moxley versus Takeshita in an IWGP World Heavyweight Championship Eliminator match.
Yeah.
This is a match one.
Yeah. I think they had like a mini feud. They had a fucking banger. Like when Takeshita first, might have been before he even signed with the company.
Mm-hmm.
These two have a ton of chemistry.
Yeah.
Too. So it's gonna be.
We'll see. We'll do our picks next week, but just run down the card. Roderick Strong versus Will Ospreay for the AEW International Championship.
Come on now. That'll probably be a match of the night.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, it's got competition.
Let's see what's coming up.
Wrestling Jesus is in that match, so come on.
Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Moné.
Fuck yeah.
AEW Women's TBS Championship. Darby Allin, Bryan Danielson, and FTR versus
I'm getting
the
hard,
Elite.
Dave. I'm getting hard.
That's a video game. That's a video game lineup.
Yes, it is. It's like a video game where you're bringing people in from other promotions. It's like it can't even happen.
It's a bunch of community created wrestlers.
Yeah.
You know? That's gonna be sick. And then Toni Storm versus Serena Deeb for the Women's Championship.
I forgot. That's going to be a banger.
It's going to be so good.
The two women's matches are going to rule.
Yeah. I think the ladies... to be fair, there's not a weak link in this card.
No, there isn't.
And then, by the way, Swerve Strickland against Christian Cage. Also, too... Adam Copeland versus Malachi Black.
In a fucking barbed wire steel cage match.
It's not on the fucking thing, but...
it's... Jesus Christ, AEW can do a pay-per-view.
I know we say this every AEW
they
show.
Do, but they do.
But they consistently
outdo
themselves.
Yeah, this is an outstanding card. We're in Double or Nothing, too, so it's Vegas. It's always great there.
This is their, WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was their first big show. Man. I'm excited.
You think they're going to fight through casinos and shit? Anarchy in the Arena? Where is this? Is at the
MGM,
it's
right?
At the MGM Grand.
Yeah,
They're going to fight through the casino.
Yeah, they are. They are. I mean, I loved it just when Mox did DDT on the big poker chip. That's going way back. But yeah, they're going to do a whole casino ass thing.
This is chaos.
I can't wait.
I'm very excited. Very excited about this. I'm almost as excited about this as I am for the King and Queen of the Ring.
I actually am pretty excited about the King and Queen of the Ring. Like, no joke.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
You're not wrong. This is on another level.
This is fucking, come on. This is like,
another level.
This is orgasmic.
Yeah.
But it should be a pretty good goddamn weekend for wrestling.
Yeah, no shit, right? Gonna be, I think I'm gonna get my words per minute typed up to a record blazing speed, having to jot down notes for both of these shows.
We will be doing a Double or Nothing specific Blue Thunder pod,
yes,
at least, and then probably a specific one for King and Queen of the Ring. I think too.
That would make sense.
But otherwise, if you, as I mentioned, guys, if you haven't already, go check out our WWE iteration of Blue Thunder Pod. Drop at the same time as this one does. Otherwise, thank you for joining us as always, and hope you're back again with us next week.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.